Hey guys, today we are going to discuss about SQL. SQL is a structured query language which is used for storing or updation, insertion or deletion or to retrieve the data from a database. We have various databases available in the market and SQL is a standard language which is used for communication with the database like Oracle, Informix, Postgres and MySQL etc. Every company is using their own dialectics such as Oracle is using PLSQL. In PLSQL, we are having conditional statements and looping statements which are not available in SQL. And MS SQL server is using TSQL. So now let us look into the data types available in Oracle. Actually, why do we need data types? And suppose if you have variable X or Y or anything, we need to pass values to those variables. So for those values to be passed to these variables, we need to define the data type of the value so that it can be passed to the variable. So what are the data types available in Oracle SQL? First is character data types, and it is char data type. It is having fixed length and the maximum size of char data type is 2000, either it is in bytes or characters. By default, it is going to take in bytes. The next data type is nchar. The nchar is also having the maximum size of 2000 and by default it is going to take in characters. Both char and nchar by default it is going to take 1 byte if we do not mention the size of those data types. And the next data type we are going to look is nvarchar2. The maximum size of nvarchar2 is 4000 bytes. Same as in case of varchar2, it is also having the maximum size of 4000 bytes. Here, in case of nvarchar2 and varchar2, we need to mention the size of the data type. Otherwise, Oracle is going to throw an error. It is not going to take any default values such as char and nchar. Next is numeric data types. Number is having two parameters, precision and scale. Scale value ranges from -84 to 127 and it is used to round off if we mention this precision and scale values. The next data type is float. Float is used to store decimal values and the values ranges from 1 to 126. The next data type is binary float, which is of 32-bit single precision and each binary float value consists of 4 bytes. The next data type is binary double, which is of 64-bit and double precision and each binary double value consists of 8 bytes. The next data type is long. Long is having maximum size of 2 gigabytes minus 1 or 2 to the power of 31 minus 1 bytes. The long data type limited to the size of our own personal PC or laptop. It is advisable to convert long data type to blob or clob, that is binary large objects or character large objects, since long data type values are static from release to release, whereas blob and clob values changes from release to release. We don't use long data type until and unless we have backward compatibility. The next data type is date time and interval data types. Date data type stores the date and time information, whereas timestamp stores additionally hour, minute and second values. And timestamp with time zone stores additionally time zone, region name or time zone offset value. The next data types are large object data types. Suppose if we want to store characters which are greater than 4000 or which are greater than their maximum size, then we need to define it as large object data types. And the bfile data type is used to store files outside the Oracle database. The maximum size of bfile is 2 to the power of 64 minus 1. Whereas blob and clob are known as binary large objects and character large objects, and both are having the same maximum size. The next data type are row ID data type, and the row ID data types are queried by using pseudo columns. Each row in the database is having different values and the row ID values are stored in the base 64 values and those values contains capital A to small z or small a to small z, and can have numbers from 0 to 9. Now let us look into the important points of data types. The first one is char data type, and the next data type is nchar data type. Now we are looking into varchar2 data type, varchar2 data type. Here, as I've said, number is having two parameters, precision and scale. If you look into this example, in this example they have given number and 3. This is nothing but precision. So if we see here, the input is given as 123.89. So as I've said, precision takes from decimal points to left side and scale takes from point to the right side. So as it have given number 3, it is going to round off to these 3 digits. So it is going to look after the point values. If it is greater than or equal to 5, it is going to add one value to the previous one. So here we can see the output is as 124. If you look into the example below here, it is given the as 6, 1. Precision is 6 and scale is 1. So here we have to look it as after point values, it is 0.89. So it is going to round off to 0.1 value. So after 0.8, the value is greater than 5. So it is going to add value to this 8 and give the output as 123.9. Suppose if the scale is given in negative value, then it is going to look in the opposite direction. So scale looks from right side direction, but it is given in negative value, so it is going to look into reverse direction, 2 values. So it is going to round off these 2 values. It is less than 50, so it is going to round off to 100. Suppose if precision is given 6 and scale is given as -1, it is going to round off to the single digit and output is going to be 120. So now let us look into the another data type, that is float, and binary float, binary double, long data type. As I have said, long functionality has been static for several releases. The next is date and timestamp with time zone. Next is b file, blob, and clob. Next is row id data type. It is queried by using pseudo column row id. So every database object is having their own database segment and an identification number, and if objects share the same segment, then it is going to have the same object number. We can query those object numbers from the data dictionary views such as user underscore objects or dba underscore objects. So now let us look into this. So now let us try to create a table and name it as new underscore table 1 and give the values as for first data type is char. As I have said, we did not mention the size. By default it is going to take as 1, same as in case of nchar. And the next is nvarchar2. Here we need to mention this size, otherwise Oracle is going to throw an error. The next is varchar2, same as in case of nvarchar2, we need to mention the size. The maximum size is 4000, so I'm mentioning it as 3999. The next data type is number, so let us take num1 as number. We need not mention the parameters until and unless it is required. So the next data type is float. If we do not mention the size of float, it is going to take by default the maximum size, that is 126. And the next data type is binary float, so it is underscore float. And the next data type is binary double. Don't worry, here we are going to look into these in upcoming session, how to create the table. The next data type is long data type, so let us take it as long one as long. We need not mention the size. And the next is date data type, so I'm going to take date 1 as date and date 2 as timestamp and date 3 as date time with time zone. And the next is clob and blob. I'm going to take v column as clob and b column as blob. So now let us try to execute this query and look at the result. As you can see, date time with time zone, there is an error here. Actually it is timestamp with time zone. So now let us execute this. So we can see here the new table has been created. So now let us query this table. We can look the data types by using this query describe, and let us type the table name new table 1, and if you try to execute this, we can get the type and whether it is null or not null. See, as I have told, if we do not mention the char size and n char size, by default it is going to take it as 1. Since we have defined 120 and 3099, we have got it. As I was said, float is going to take the maximum value 126 and the rest is same. You can also query these tables and database objects from select star from all objects. So let us try to execute this. So let us do this. So here we have created a large object and the date is today's date. You can query this from all objects. So now let us try to execute data types with more than maximum size and let us see what happens. So let us create table new underscore table 2 and let us take it as name as character and the maximum size is 2000, so let us give it as 2001 and let us see what is the output of this. As you can see, the output is the specified length is too long for each data type. Specified length is too long for dat and raw. The length was specified was greater than 2000, so it throws an error. So now let us look the same with varchar 2, and if we do not mention the size, it is going to throw an error saying missing left or left parenthesis. So now let us try to give a value to this and let us try to execute it. So you can see the table 2 has been created. So now let us see describe new underscore table 2. As you can see, we should mention the size for varchar 2 and varchar 2, otherwise it throws an error. So that's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next video.